May 19th, 2014 meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee will now come to order. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Ansello? Here. Mr. Baroth? Here. Mr. Daniele? Here. Chairman Howland?
Here.
Mr. Morelli is excused.
Is there anyone signed up for the public forum?
There is not.
There being none, is there anyone present who is not signed up to speak who would like to address the committee at this time? There being none, we'll move on to our resolutions. I'm sorry. We're going to have a presentation by Paul Johnson, Associate Planner of the Planning and Development Department. Will now give a brief overview of the 2015-2020 Capital Improvement Program as it pertains to the Planning and Economic Development Committee. Mr. Johnson?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Everyone should have a copy of the County Executive's proposed Capital Improvement Program. This has been prepared with our usual process, which starts in the fall when we ask departments to submit projects for consideration for inclusion in the program. It's reviewed by an internal committee which looks at the needs for the project as well as the financing that is proposed. A recommendation is made to the county executive, and she in turn referred her proposed program to the county planning board per the county charter. They have reviewed it and are recommending it. They held one public information meeting in early March to get public input on the program. So we are here in front of the legislature with the county executive's proposed program. There is no funding approvals, or are no funding approvals associated with the legislature's action on this 6-year program. That opportunity will present itself in the fall when the capital budget is prepared as part of the operating budget, and that will be the 2015 list of projects that are included in this program, and they will be presented along with their related bond resolutions for the legislature's adoption as part of that capital budget, hopefully in December. What I want to do is very briefly give you a summary of the program areas that are related to the Planning and Economic Development Committee, and that would be the Planning and Feasibility Program, which you will find on page 20 of the document. If you're interested in looking at it, there is really just one project, our Planning and Feasibility Project, which is a continuing project, has been in virtually every year of the Capital Improvement Program, and you can see 6 years worth of funding proposed. These funds are typically used to do pre-engineering type of work and prepare some further level of detail for projects that are included in the Capital Improvement Program. And that list of projects is usually developed early in the year and then followed through, obviously, during the course of the year. And again, there are no changes really from these funding levels from our adopted program. And that, Mr. Chairman, concludes my remarks. We would really prefer to answer questions at the time that the committee discusses this item on their agenda.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Okay, the next item on the agenda is the approval of the minutes. You have the February 24th, 2014 minutes before you. They will stand approved unless the clerk is notified of any changes by the end of the day. The next item on the agenda is new business. Mr. Clerk?
Referral 14-0172.
Moved by Legislator Ansella, seconded by Legislator Daniele. Is there any discussion? Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the Chair of the Administration, I actually have one simple question that's regarding the draft we received on May 15th of the action plan. It simply is, were there any, since that time, have there been any edits to the content of this draft, or is it as it stands in front of us?
Through the chair, no.
Thank you much.
Okay. We'll proceed to vote. All those in favor? Aye. All those against? Resolution passes. Okay, then. Mr. Clerk?
Referral 14-0173.
By Legislator Daniele, seconded by Legislator Ansello. Is there any discussion? Legislator Baroth.
Thank you. Through the Chair of the Administration, I'll have to admit, with only half a page to look at. You can only look at so much detail. But I did have one question regarding the public hearing you cited from early March. Were there any comments made at that public hearing?
Through the chair, yes, we did receive comments on 3 projects. They were all from the same individual who was a representative of the New York State Department of Parks and Recreation and Historic Preservation. I guess that's their entire title. He just wanted to point out that several of the projects could have potential impacts on either state park facilities or significant waterways in the county, and just to ask that whichever department was working on one of those projects, that they be in touch with his regional office of state parks so that they could coordinate on the actual construction schedule and any mitigation efforts that might be put in place during construction to prevent impacts on either a state park facility or a major waterway. One of the projects that comes to mind is the Moscow Road Bridge. No, yes, the Ante Creek Moscow Road Bridge, which is very close to Hamlet Beach State Park.
Okay, thank you. Through the chair to the administration, on an unrelated note, I noticed in the referral it directs the clerk of the legislature to publish a legal notice in at least, quote, 1 daily newspaper of general circulation. Am I correct to assume, through the chair of the administration, that this must be one of the 2 publishing IDs that we have previously identified at the legislature? I.e. the Rochester Business Journal or the Daily Record?
Through the chair, I believe that's the responsibility of the clerk of the legislature, not the administration.
Well, yes, but through the chair of the administration, the referral does direct the clerk to do this, and it is something that we go through the county to do, I am under the impression. Is that not the case? The clerk does it independently? Does anyone know?
I'm sorry, could you ask the question again, please?
Sure, no problem.
Through the chair.
Through the chair of the administration, essentially what I was asking was, it said, the language here says, quote, it has to provide a legal notice of such public hearing in at least 1 daily newspaper of general circulation. It does not actually refer to being a publication of record. And I was just assuming, in fact, it had to be a publication of record, as we have previously determined, I believe, a couple of sessions ago. That's really what I'm asking.
Through the chair, if you just bear with us for a second.
Exactly.
Through the chair, in order to fulfill the legal requirement, the ad would need to be placed in one of the 2 official papers of record for the county.
Thank you very much. That's exactly what I needed to know. Appreciate it.
Is there any further discussion? There being none, all those in favor, please signify by saying aye. All opposed? The item carries. Are there any other matters to come before this committee? There being no other matters, the May 19th, 2014 meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee stands adjourned. The next meeting of the Planning and Economic Development Committee is scheduled for June 23rd, 2014.